Storytelling Army is a project that works with people from all walks of life, supporting them to tell their own stories with the hope that by sharing stories, we will cultivate more empathy and more understanding of one another. To be part of the Storytelling Army, you don't have to have performed before, written before, told a story before. The idea is that we create a bespoke workshop that supports people to discover their creativity and give them the tools and skills to be able to perform and share their stories.
The beautiful thing about Nabokov and Storytelling Army is the fact that, they have a unique way of bringing everyone together without trying. Make us all realize that whilst everyone's telling their stories, we've all got different circumstances to how, we've been living our lives. Everyone's story is different. But when the stories get told, it literally gives people like me a better understanding of where you're coming from. Inja came down, Chester P came down. Those big names literally pop into the workshops and literally just give us a bit of their wisdom about how to construct a story and literally just tell it in such a way that's so compelling. It's really inspiring.
I think it's so important for projects like the Storytelling Army to exist because people like me definitely need both the platform and the structure that gave me to sort of motivate me. We've had a few workshops in different spaces with kind of different aims, some to spew some ideas and to kind of chat to each other about our goals for the piece or ideas for pieces.
Storytelling is a powerful tool for social change. The exchange of hearing something that you can relate to is comforting. It means that some subjects no longer have to remain social taboos. We can discuss things that we go through on a daily basis, whether that is depression or loss, or love and joy, and we share those things with one another.
Cascade was set up about 5 years ago and constituted as a charity about 3.5 years ago. It is born out of my own experience of coming into recovery and rediscovering the power of art and the cathartic process that happens.
I love storytelling in song, so I thought I'd try my hand at something a little bit different. The Storytelling Army really inspired something in me, and I'm really happy that I became a part of it.
I've been interested in writing for a while. Everyone's got a story. Everyone can tell it. It's about being creative. What I've definitely had empowerment in doing it.
It means a lot actually, because I've been writing poetry for years, and basically what I've done is kept it to myself and I've never read it out.
So the Storytelling Army will pop up in different public spaces with the hope that if we share our stories, then hopefully people will be able to plug out of their everyday and plug into the humanity, to people sharing, to people connecting to one another.
I love writing, I love telling stories on paper, and I'm terrified about getting up in front of people and talking. So being part of this group is a good way of confronting my fears, a good way of getting out there, seeing whether I can do it and seeing whether people like what I do.
I've never done anything like this before in my life, in actual fact. It took me a few weeks to get into it, but that was all good, and Stef never once kind of made it an uncomfortable experience or anything like that. It was always a very welcoming and a good vibe really, and I'm very proud to be a part of it really.
We have worked with painter and decorators, full-time mums, students, literally people from all walks of life, including vulnerably housed and homeless, people in recovery. It really doesn't matter who you are and where you come from. Everyone has the ability to be creative, and there's a workshop that is created to support those people to share their stories. What's the time? We've got 3 hours, and then it's show time, and we've just had a really beautiful rehearsal in Batiga rooms where the majority of the group came together and started to get a real sense of everyone's work, and I think people showed lots and lots of vulnerability back there and bravery to speak honestly and to own who they are and to show up for life. And a lot of people that we're working with are in recovery from alcohol and drug addiction, and to show up for life without the thing that they needed to be able to do that, and to do something like this takes incredible courage and bravery. So I think it's come back because it actively works with local people from all walks of life, and I think our industry can talk a lot about wanting diversity of voices and to support people in hearing their stories, and this is actively doing that. And I think the festival realised a couple of years ago through working with Kae Tempest that they needed to do more of that. They needed to do more community projects or take the work further out of London, or just support voices and the stories of everyday people, not just privileged people that are in a position to be able to spend loads of money on making a show and bringing their work to Brighton Festival, but also to continue the relationships with these communities that we built a couple of years ago. I know it means a lot for some of the people returning. We just had one participant talk about how they had grown in the last couple of years, and since the last Storytelling Army into this, and it's been milestones of her evolving as a human. So you don't just come to somewhere and go, oh, we've got this amazing project, we think it'd be great if you just bared your soul and told these stories, and then we're gonna not come back, and thank you for that, see you later. So the fact that Brighton Festival want to continue to do that work and develop those relationships and develop those artists and people is amazing. On your face, waiting by the telephone. I think there's something that happens when we have a meal with someone. There's a sense of unity, community, family, and I think it is a way to help us to think about that transaction that some people might have or might not have in their lives, but also this is an event about sharing narratives and stories, and we thought that a way that we could bring people together was through food. And I think food also shows us, if we tell stories about what food means to us, it says so much actually about our roots and our heritage. I can map my life through kind of the things that I've eaten and the progression of how I've grown as a human, and it's the same for a lot of the participants. So that's why we've gone for the theme of food this year. 'Cause you are busy wasting time. Thinking that I was doing alright.
I feel like it's just so good for people to express themselves through something that isn't graded and scrutinised. I think it's just an open space for people to communicate whatever they feel like.
Overall, it's just been a great experience myself doing it for the second time. It's just been amazing, and I feel like I've reached a new path by being able to do this.
Yeah, it's been great, coming in through Cascade Creative Recovery and all the creative stuff that we do, and in conjunction with Nabokov, and I love getting together. This is the third time I've been with Army of Storytellers, and each time it's a togetherness. There's a sincerity and honesty in all of our stories, and we were rehearsing earlier on today, and nearly made me cry listening to it all. It was lovely, it was really lovely, and I'm really excited to be in this space now.
I feel it's really important for us to share our stories and to share them publicly as we're doing, and people are actually getting tickets to come and hear us. This kind of opens the door for other people to share their stories, and that's how we connect with one another.
With all of the technology that is around us, it's quite easy to be trapped inside and to not then reach out and connect with people. So these sorts of events, Storytelling Army, is a way of bringing people together and making them reconnect in modern day society.
I think we tend to shy away from the nittier grittier parts of our stories on social media as well, so kind of telling all honestly.
It's also cool because everyone's got a story to tell, and no matter who you are or what you do, or whether you think you're any good at writing or rapping or doing poetry or whatever, everyone's got a story, and it's super nice to give people a platform where they can confidently tell their story.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are the Storytelling Army.